Boom.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Drop Third Strike with myself, Terry Ganton in Chicago, Illinois, and my podcast partner in Denver, Colorado, Beth Davies Stafka.
Hello.
All
Hello.
right, so I think this week
baseball.
the hot stove has begun, right? So it's like we are in the off season. The general managers, I think the winter meetings have happened. I believe it was the winter meetings have happened.
Yep.
Some wheeling and dealing got done. There has not been a shit ton of wheeling and dealing. Like the big names in free agency are still out there. Like George Springer's still not a Chicago Cub, which is kind of in my brain. Like now, there's a distinct possibility that this can happen.
Yeah.
Right. We've had the bizarreness that is the White Sox with Tony La Russa still being their manager, although I'm not entirely sure he makes the opening day. But they traded for Lance Lynn.
Yes, they did.
And I'm not sold on that per se, but I mean he's a starter, but he's like a number 3. He's not a number 1 or 2. So like I think teams are making moves like that, and that kind of like that speaks to me of like people not being sure what the finances are going to be.
Yeah.
Because man, they felt that hit of not having fans and not having a full schedule of games. Major League Baseball sued their insurance company.
Oh yeah, tell me about that.
So basically, baseball believes that the pandemic and everything that came along with it is like any other disruption to your business. And if they're insured against said disruptions to their business, so the insurance company should just pay out.
Yeah.
The insurance company effectively believes, no, it's a little different than that, right? Like you could have run your business, you just lost money, right? From the insurance company's point of view, yes, the pandemic affects you, but lightning didn't strike your stadiums. Flood didn't come along and wash away like the Oakland Athletics, and then they just don't exist anymore, right? Yeah. Like you guys messed around with like how many games you could play and when you could start and all this kind of bullshit. So like, I think the insurance companies are like, we shouldn't have to like prop you up here. So I think that's what's happening, which I think is a very interesting thing. Like in a way, I kind of agree with the insurance companies, right? I feel like, what the insurance company should do? The insurance company should come in and help out those vendors who lost money.
Definitely.
Right? They should come in and help out the popcorn guy, come in and help out the nacho guy, come and help out all the beer guys, come and help out everybody selling those overpriced ass jerseys. Help those people out.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're the businesses that survive on the fact that a game is happening and they couldn't be there. The billionaires are okay.
Yeah.
Right? Like I kind of feel like that if baseball were working on that aspect of the thing, because all the players got paid something. Right? The owners got paid something because they were still advertising, right? They got money that they were going to get. But there's a lot of people who lost money who were not billionaires. And if Major League Baseball isn't arguing for those people, then that's where I think the problem is.
Yeah. Now, what about the minor leagues?
Those guys too. But see, the minor leagues are run as an entirely separate business.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's kind of what we see there feels to me like a bit of a trap, right? The minor leagues all get to do whatever the hell they want to do. They have like a sort of an autonomy. They make these contractual agreements where, minor league team A in small town USA is contractually obligated to help out the Colorado Rockies and send players there, right? But they aren't owned by the Rockies.
Yeah.
Right? So they're not a property of Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball does not own the minor leagues. The minor leagues are an entirely separate business entity that has a good handshake deal for X amount of years with Major League Baseball. So it means that if Major League Baseball is out there kind of having a problem or having a benefit, the minor leagues don't benefit from it, right? The benefit to the minor leagues is if Nolan Arenado tweaks a hamstring and he's 2 weeks ago rehab, the Lake Havasu like Beavers get to say Nolan Arenado is going to be here for 2 or 3 weeks, right? They get to sell tickets using Nolan Arenado's name. That's fantastic. That's the kind of the benefit there. And I think, man, someone ought to renegotiate that situation.
Yes, definitely.
Like let baseball run the minor leagues then.
Yeah.
Right? Let the minor leagues benefit from the major leagues. Pass some of that money down. It will upgrade facilities. It will upgrade payer like treatment. It will player treatment. It will upgrade like player pay. Like all these different. It will upgrade the pay for the people who like we have a team. We have an independent team here called the Chicago Dogs. Right. I would like to see the Chicago Dogs catch like a little bit of like cash on the back end, just sitting out there by O'Hare Airport, like in a really cute ballpark, right? But there's people there who I believe should be paid more damn money
Yeah.
for a summer of dealing with the public than they're getting paid right now.
Yeah.
Right. And I think the billions that Major League Baseball pulls in, right, should help those teams instead of it just being, well, you know, we got this ex-White Sox player trying to play his way back into the major leagues. We're going to use his name, try to sell a few extra tickets. I think that's kind of, I don't know. I think those days we've proven you can do it that way, but I bet you can do better, you know, personally.
So on that insurance thing, I thought that, well, wouldn't you have to, so I wonder how this is defined, I guess is what I'm saying.
This is why they're going to court.
You don't get, you know, you don't get relief from a flood unless you have specifically flood insurance, right?
Yes. Yes.
And you know, and various other kinds. So what type of insurance does this fall under? You know,
Right.
Insured against acts of God.
There's no pandemic insurance, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
You
there
know?
will be now.
Right.
But not, there wasn't last year or whatever it was that they renewed their
Right.
insurance agreements. Yeah. So you know what, I mean, I don't know what this belongs to.
The closest I have to wonder, the only time that anything similar happened was 9/11 when there was no baseball for a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Did Major League Baseball file insurance claims for the days they lost games?
Yeah.
Considering they chose to not play those games.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the insurance companies have it out, is you weren't prevented from doing it.
Right.
You chose not to do it.
Right.
Right. Like someone said it's not safe to do baseball right now because there could be terrorist attacks. Shea Stadium could be like targeted or whatever. Yankee Stadium could be a target. All right, but Yankee Stadium might be a target, but no one's targeting the Blue Jays Stadium. Not even the fans.
Yeah.
Right. So like when you decided to not have baseball, that's on you, man. Right.
Yeah.
Like the insurance guy can say, I'm out here.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
It is one thing when it's not safe to do a thing, but you could make it safe.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You know, and you weren't making it safe. Yeah, you weren't making it safe. So that's on you.
And they could have like played it without making it safe too. Like that choice was available. It wasn't like,
we saw them play it without making it safe with Justin Turner. He's the example of just how you can do this without it being safe.
Oh wow. Now wouldn't it be awesome if we found out over time, somehow it got leaked out that the insurance companies win in the courts because everybody points at Justin Turner. So you totally had a choice.
Yes,
you exercised that choice. You were not serious and you didn't behave seriously. So don't tell us we owe you. No.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like the number of times I just see like sports teams sort of, well, like the country kind of deciding that some of the things that we're experiencing are just like, well, that's a bad break. But look at the number of people not having that bad break. Why should we do anything if only that guy has the bad break? And it's like, well, you multiply that guy times 300,000 people, and that equals dead people.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like that's the difference.
Yeah.
You know, Major League Baseball can luckily say that no Major League Baseball players died during COVID in the last 9 months. But I bet if you look, Major League Baseball can't say no Major League Baseball players' relatives died.
Right.
Right.
I don't know.
Someone's grandma probably bit it.
Yeah.
Right. Because of the way they handle the thing.
Yeah.
And I think they're not suing to get more money to support the families that lost loved ones connected to Major League Baseball. They're suing for profit lost.
That's right. That's all. Yeah.
So you lose with me, you lose that sympathy where I'm like, I love baseball so much, I want to see it continue. Like, I want it to thrive, right? And instead, it's baseball doing what baseball tends to do, which is like billionaires protecting billionaires, man. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know, I don't feel good about
that. There's been a pattern over the last, I'm going to say 10 years, and it might just be I'm really ignorant, and this has gone on much longer. But let's just say in the last 10 years, it seems almost like the profit motive is so powerful in baseball that the owners are willing to let baseball be bad.
Yes.
And that's so weird, because how do you make the profits if your product is bad? And I think short term, it hasn't really necessarily hurt their profits. So like, it's fine. But long term, it's bound to, you know, and they're talking.
Remember how we talk about like the marketing of baseball to like marketing its star players in a certain kind of way?
Yeah.
Baseball wants baseball to be the star. So they're willing to not even display the greatness of baseball, right?
Yeah.
The best players. They're not even going to tell you who these guys are. They're not even going to use these guys in their marketing on a regular basis because the game is the star, which is to say the billionaires are the stars. And so therefore, we're willing to go that route and stay there. We're willing to hang our hats on that thing.
Yeah.
Which shows you where the mentality kind of is.
Yeah.
Right? We're baseball. Why should we have to work harder?
Right. Right.
You know, like that's kind of the attitude. And I think that's one that you just can't have.
Well,
You're going to continue to fall further and further behind other sports, you know?
Yeah. And it's so weird that they don't really sort of notice or care. I can't figure that part out. It's very weird to me.
I think when you have $1 billion and then like overnight you make another extra couple million just by going to sleep and waking up in the morning, like you stop caring because you've already achieved the billions.
Yeah, okay. Nothing's at stake for you on it.
Yeah, like what do you care when the projected billions aren't there that you were supposed to make.
Right.
Right. You care about that part, but
right.
you don't care how much better you could be doing it if you didn't just kind of half-ass it.
Yeah.
You know, people who run races who don't train for the race, but say to themselves, of course I'm faster than everybody else here. Or people just like seeing me run. I'm going to get cheered. Why should I train? You know, that kind of thing. Like that exists. Right? There's attitudes in all kinds of walks of life where people don't have, they perceive to not have to work hard because they're already successful.
Yeah.
And people already cheer them.
There's guys on teams that are like that.
Why improve?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why improve?
All right. So what about these, this might be too technical. I'm wondering about those vendors, you know, the small guys, the guys who are cooking food there, you know, on the concourses, or, you know, like you said, selling the jerseys and such. Are they able to independently insure themselves? Are they required to independently insure themselves? Are they required to fund their own insurance, but within a framework that baseball mandates, you know?
So if you are, I suspect, I'm just going to use my perspective as a business owner, right? If you're a freestanding structure that benefits from a baseball park or baseball game or something, the baseball industry, you carry insurance, or you should carry insurance, but that insurance will not help you if you don't have customers, right? Okay. And this is the biggest issue you have. Like, your business is doing its best when you can have customers going to ball. Like, let's say Wrigley Field, for instance, it's the closest ballpark to me. There are businesses set up all around Wrigley Field, right? And many of them for a long time were independently owned and operated. And those businesses, be it the bars, be it the jersey shops and all these kind of things, they thrived when there were ball game days because they were packed.
Yeah.
They also, however, were open when there weren't ball game days, so you just had a normal day of business.
Right.
If for some reason half the season is canceled, you can't file a claim because you're still open for business, right? Like you still kind of have the ability. It's up to you to draw people in somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Now, the thing that happened here in Chicago was the Cubs went to war with a bunch of these businesses, right? Oh. About the fact that these businesses only had business because of the Cubs.
Oh.
And it was all about like rooftop bars, right?
Yeah,
it was all that, like the rooftop bar scandal. The situation was, you guys are, you started out as building owners, landlords, whatever, tenants would just climb up onto the roof and look over into Wrigley Field. And it was just the coolest damn thing to just be able to see into the ballpark and just sit up on your roof and watch a game, right? But like, that was a thing that was tradition here for like years, until those building owners sold to business people who converted entire apartment buildings into basically party bars.
Oh.
with real seating on the roof now.
Yeah.
To look over into the ballpark where it's $100 a head to come in and access the rooftop.
Yeah.
That's when the Cubs got annoyed, because now you weren't the neighbor across the street sitting up on his roof looking into the ballpark.
Right.
Now you're selling seats.
Yeah.
So the Cubs started doing ridiculous shit, like putting up balloons that would block the view, like just helium balloons. Like the most petty. Like, it's one thing when you're in a battle with business owners and you're a bar that's basically stealing our product, right? An argument could be made that you're stealing our product. But when it's the pettiness of, let's just put the balloons up and we'll show them, all the Cubs really wanted was a piece of that action, right? If you are selling tickets to be able to look over into the ballpark, you should give us a piece of that action. An argument can be made either way. Look, Cubs, you own from Wrigley Field's walls in. You don't own from Wrigley Field's walls out. You could put a roof on the place, but you won't. You won't put a roof on the place, right? So we know you won't put a roof on the place. So we're just gonna look over the fence. Thank you very much. If we stood outside on the street with a ladder that went up 30, 40 feet and just stood at the top of a 30, 40-foot ladder and looked over, what? You can ask the cops to move us along, but what if the cops don't, right? We're just looking into the ballpark, right? We should be able to do that.
Yeah.
Eventually, the agreements got made, but it took a while, right? The agreements got made, but it's still like one of those things where you can't complain that business is down when part of why business is down is you. The Cubs, what the Cubs ended up doing was buying a bunch of these businesses.
Yeah.
Right. So now they're Cubs businesses.
Yeah.
The Cubs bought all kinds of buildings around Wrigley Field now and put up hotels and all this kind of shit, right? They did so much of this investment at such a high level, and then the pandemic happened. So I can see Major League Baseball, there's somebody wanting to sue to try to get money out of insurance companies because they lost money hand over fist.
Yeah.
Compared to what they were investing in the neighborhood when no one can do any of these things just yet.
Right.
But you only lost money that year.
Yeah.
When we're at vaccine and a baseball season happens, even if you get 100 games in, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Right? Because people, you can raise the prices, you know? I remember after the last significant strike, you know, the Mark Grace era of the Cubs.
Okay.
The Cubs lowered their ticket prices so much that me and friends were able to buy, you know, second row, first baseline.
Wow.
Tickets. Like we could just walk up and get them. The tickets were so low. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like I see something like that happening around Major League Baseball when they're back, but I don't see it lasting.
Yeah.
Because at some point they're going to want to hit fans all over again to make up that money. And I think they should just kind of punt that and say that was a lost year. We can do better. But I think this is why they're suing their insurance company, is they don't want to have to make it better.
Okay. So how much does a second row first baseline ticket at Wrigley Field cost?
Ooh, let's find out.
Okay.
All right.
Let's compare to Coors Field.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna look this up. Do it on the phone.
I don't know if you guys have a thing, but here at Coors Field, like on tax day, all the tickets at Coors Field are $4.15.
Wow.
I know.
All right.
That's lots of times it's actually snowing that day, but but it's still a great deal.
Right, because it's April, right? In Chicago, it's still likely to be in the 30s,
yeah,
the 40s, right?
But it's $4.15 to see a baseball game, and that's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Let's
see. You can still on most game days you can still walk up and buy tickets, you know, half hour before the game.
That's good. I like that. See, I like the situations in which you could just walk up and do this.
I know, yeah, those are over. But the days that we can't would be like the days that the Cubs are in town, especially when the Cubs are in town. There's so many Cubs fans out here. They will sell out Coors Field when the Cubs come to town.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna pick a game.
Giants fans will sell out Coors Field.
It is not opening day. We're gonna pick April 25th. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see if we know yet.
I think Dodgers fans can sell out Coors Field.
Because you're close enough?
Yeah, probably Yankees fans can sell out Coors Field, and Red Sox fans can sell out Coors Field.
Are you on my side of the mountain from the, like, or
yep.
Are you on their side?
I'm on your side of the mountain, yeah.
Perfect. As you should.
Yeah, we're feeding the Mississippi. We're feeding the Mississippi.
They may not have announced Cubs tickets prices yet. I think it's too soon.
Well, also, like you said, they might be lower than usual this year. Try to get people back. And I guess we wouldn't really know that. That's something else I wanted to talk to you about is April 1st.
Yeah.
What do you think April 1st is going to be like?
Is that opening day?
Mm-hmm.
I think that if they do what they tend to do, they're going to make a big push for opening day television and attendance. Absolutely. Because Major League Baseball loves its opening day. It's like Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah.
right? I usually find myself in a bar taking a day off to watch opening day baseball.
Absolutely.
With friends. It is absolutely a thing that I do. Like
Yep.
I must see opening day if I can. I must see opening day baseball.
Yep.
Right. No matter how like unreasonable it actually is.
It is. It's like a, well, I can tell you because I don't go to that many baseball games in person because I like to get expensive seats. I like to sit right over the camera well down the first base line. So
Okay.
I like to watch the camera guys, but I'm also like right at first base so that if guys are going
Wait,
to steal,
you're watching the camera guys.
I think they're interesting. I think the cameras are interesting. I think the stuff they do is interesting. So it's really, you get such a great view because you get to watch them in the well, and you get to watch the guys at first base, plotting to steal, and all that kind of thing, right? It's a great place to sit, and those seats are $65.
Wow.
Yes. I'm thinking at Wrigley, that's not what they cost.
All right, I found a site that's got some ticket prices. I'm going to
Okay.
see if I can narrow down kind of a place to be. Here, let's try this zone right here. Oh, they might not. Okay, they might not have. In one area, it was just like some field box seats. Someone selling. Oh, that's too many. What if I just want one? I don't need six. I'm selling six for $600. $634 for six of them. If I only want one, just give me one, buddy. What the hell's that say? Oh, nope, that's $634 each. Doesn't make a difference if one's six or not.
Ah.
That's like, I think this is like a secondhand site for sure. Ticketoffices.com. Yeah, they got crazy prices going. Opening day crazy prices is what's going on there.
Okay.
And it looks like they have picked up a whole bunch of blocks of tickets, first base line, at those crazy prices. Now, whoever buys those seats, they're not even going to watch the game. They're going to be on their phones the entire damn time.
Yeah. Yeah. Now those are crowded up closer to home plate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still, they're
I can see
like 10 times more than what they cost at Coors Field is what.
And I think they're probably even going to get that money. Like I don't even. Wow, that just makes me itch.
Yeah.
I can't even believe somebody's asking $600 for a baseball ticket. But Cubs opening day is a big deal in this town.
Yeah, it's
like
man, right?
I'd rather find myself at a Sox game.
Yeah.
Like for $600, I'm going to a Sox game. Screw that.
I'd rather see the Sox play anyway, but
and at the Sox, yeah, absolutely. And there you absolutely can walk up day of and get tickets.
Yay.
Right? Like, yes, they're totally that ballpark, and it's a fine experience. Yeah. Hell yeah.
I love the vibe. It's a shame, but I love the vibe anyway. Yep. I love the vibe anyway. So that lets us talk about James McCann, right? There's we could have a long conversation about what James McCann means to the Mets, but I say let's not do that. Let's think about what losing James McCann means to the White Sox, if anything.
Well, I think for James McCann and the White Sox, it's kind of I don't know. It's almost a tragic story, right? James McCann was so good here. You need James McCann to play every day to take advantage of how good James McCann was here.
Yeah.
The problem we have is James McCann, they didn't see him as an everyday guy, even though he was an all-star. They didn't see him as an everyday guy. And so they went out and got Yasmani Grandal, which was definitely an all-star guy who was going to play every day. And because James McCann doesn't strike you as a DH, right? He can still catch. He's still valuable. You end up with two all-star catchers on your team. And one of them is going to get 75% of the games and the other guy doesn't get to play. And it's a damn shame. So to me, it's one of these things where just like with Kyle Schwarber, I feel like, man, then trade that guy and get something for him and move him along and make him happy.
Yeah.
Right? Don't let that guy walk out of your door and go to another team and there's just no compensation for you effectively. Like,
right.
I feel like that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
But other teams are looking at your situation and going, we don't have to trade for him. You're not going to re-sign him. You've got Yasmani Grandal. You're not going to sign that guy again. Yeah. You're going to some kid or you're going to sign some journeyman who ain't as good as him, who will cost a lot less than he's going to cost you, and we'll just pick him up on free agency. And that part, I feel like in that way, the White Sox got sort of outmaneuvered. I thought the Cubs got outmaneuvered with Kyle Schwarber. I feel like everyone knows you got a valuable asset, and they're just going to wait you out.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't let that happen.
Yeah.
Find someone willing to say, here's a guy,
Yeah.
right? Here's an asset in return. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And not let that dude walk out the door because of
Now,
his
to be
value.
fair, could they have gotten somebody? Could they have traded Schwarber too? But could they have traded McCann or Schwarber? Um, last year,
I think they could have. I
Schwarber.
think they should have. I think they should have traded them both.
Yeah.
The time apparently to trade the various players on the market, be it like Chris Bryant, Schwarber, James McCann. The time to have done it would have been before the 2020 season, so during the 2019 season,
Yes.
right? Like
Exactly.
you didn't know you were going to have a pandemic.
Right.
So what were you really waiting for? Were you waiting for them to really perform well so that their value is at its highest, right? Yeah. You knew you couldn't keep them anyway. So now I think you're taking a risk. It's the rule is trade a player a year too early versus a year too late.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So
it's a good rule.
Follow that rule.
It might have been that, like, if I'm thinking like let's say I'm the White Sox and I've got James McCann and I've got Yasmani Grandal. I know I want to trade James McCann and get some stuff back, but I don't know what I want back. So let me wait until 2020 starts. I don't know, there's a pandemic. Let me wait until 2020 starts to take shape. See what are my needs, because I am planning to win. And then I will trade him based on what I need. And so that's like this calculated risk you take.
Yeah.
And pandemic, and then it's like, well, shit, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what I need until it's too late. And weird trade deadline, I don't know what I need. Nobody wants to give anything up. There we are. And so you're kind of just left with, oh well. I don't know if that happened in Schwarber's case, but I know the Cubs were trying to win last season.
They've been trying to win for the last couple seasons.
Yeah, for sure. So it might have been the same kind of rationale. Let me figure out what it is I need. I've got this great piece. People will give up for it. And maybe they're not, in contention the way that I am. But I don't know where my weaknesses are until I'm a partway into the season, right?
I think with the Cubs, the trick is, I think they're very aware that they need to change the makeup of the team. And part of that involves bringing up new players from the minors.
Okay.
To be ready to groom them to be ready to step in a year or so on your major league roster. Hasn't changed it. Your Schwarber problem is, your McCann problem is you're not trading McCann for a major leaguer.
Right.
You're trading McCann for a minor leaguer, and you're not trading him for a frontline minor leaguer. So when you move him, you're moving him for a guy who's going to come up and help you at some point, but not like a first round pick, right?
Okay.
In Schwarber's case, however, you're moving that guy for someone who is in a year or so going to come up and help you and should be significant for your major league team. And that's why I think you just get it done.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Because you're not trading him for another guy who's going to hit 40 home runs.
Nope.
Right? That's not happening. You're not going to trade it for two guys who hit 25 who are going to play every day because you don't have a place for them to play.
Right.
Right. So you are absolutely moving him for prime assets who in a year or so are going to leave your minor league roster, hit your major league roster, and be useful for you while you're retooling things and still trying to compete.
Right.
But if you don't move him, you're letting 35 to 40 home runs walk out your door.
Yeah.
And you don't have that on your minor league team right now.
Right.
Coming up looking to take that place.
Right.
You're gonna sign a guy and put him out there instead, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's my concern there is you need to shake up your major league roster by moving one of your 5 core guys, right? You need to do that. Then do it already.
Yeah.
And don't risk kind of just hoping that they have to hope that they underperform to get a better draft pick. That pick wouldn't have been as good as the picks you got back for Schwarber.
Right.
There's one thing is competing is a thing, right? Like, I want to make the playoffs, but from the Cubs position, they actually think they can win, and they've shown in the last couple of years you're an early round out. Yeah. So how do you get better than that? You do it by shaking things up,
right,
with new talent and better pitching,
right?
And you can't get that if one of those assets is walking right out the door.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to say that I have convinced myself that the White Sox made a calculated risk and lost on the McCann situation. Sure. And you have convinced me that the Cubs made a poor decision on the Schwarber situation and definitely lost.
Yes, I think the White Sox absolutely calculated loss because they were not going to be, it would be wrong for them to even try to keep James McCann.
Yeah.
While having gone out and signed Yasmani Grandal. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Wrong to do.
So they had time though. They had time because they knew they had Grandal. They had time. They didn't just,
Yes.
they had plenty of time and they didn't take it. They didn't use their time well.
And there's probably some like, top 30 rated minor league catcher they also have, right? Like there's someone who's going to be a kid who's going to come up in a couple of years when Grandal is not worth the money Grandal is being paid.
Okay.
Grandal's not going to be here for 10 years.
Right.
They already know that, right?
Yeah.
Grandal is a win now guy, right? He's a
he
piece.
is.
He's anchoring your battery because you want to win, right? You want to win in the next 2 years.
But
So
now,
wasn't
he the one that was getting the yips with the Dodgers in the World Series the year before, in the playoffs the year before?
Somehow I keep thinking he was a Houston guy, but I think you're right. I think he was a Dodgers guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was having the yips. I remember just.
But sometimes we can remember that somebody had really lousy ass postseason and they figure it out. Like Darvish, we got him after a horrible Dodgers postseason.
That's true. That is true.
He figured the thing out. Like he figured out what he may have figured out was that the Astros may have stolen signs. Yeah. But just that knowledge was enough to set him right, apparently.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But before that happened, the first year he got here, he was bad.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, how could this dude be this bad? And it might be because in his head, he had just crapped the bed in the postseason, right? Like he was terrible.
I think you think that's who I am. And so then you behave that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So change of scenery is a thing. It's a real thing.
Yep.
New information is even more real thing, right?
Right.
So it's so McCann for the Mets. I call that too soon to tell.
Well, part of it is also the Mets have new ownership, just looking to spend money any way they can.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The Mets are behaving like the Dodgers East.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's like, well, I like this the way this Mets thing is shaping up, right? Shaping up. But what I want to know about the Mets is, what are you going to do to enhance your pitching when your pitching staff has one guy and a bunch of broken, awesome guys?
Yeah.
Your pitching staff has a lot of guys we've grown to love. No one finishes the season there.
Right.
So what are you doing to fix that?
Right.
Like you're pulling in position guys. Yeah, absolutely fine. Okay. But you need something that when Jacob deGrom is on, it's deGrom. But deGrom can't pitch 5 days in a row.
No.
Right? What are you doing to make up for everyone else having surgeries and being a shadow of their former selves, or like going down in May and not coming back until August? This kind of bullshit. Like that's the thing you ought to be thinking about right now, new ownership, is the Mets are constructed to stop you from scoring and then beating the crap out of you.
Right.
What are you doing when your former rookie of the year, Pete Alonso, is gonna hit like under 200 and he ain't gonna hit 40 home runs now? He's hitting 9.
Yeah.
Right? Like that might be because COVID stress. But how do you know that, right? You got to keep guys off the base paths in case your bats aren't working.
I saw that coming with Alonso, and I can't even say how I knew.
Probably because he looks like a big ass, cheeseburger slinger. Like he looks like a barrely, like kind of burly ass. He looks like he ought to be selling the food in the stands. Right? He's massive. He's just a big burly dude. Like, I mean, it's possible under his uniform, he's ripped like a pro wrestler. I don't know. But when I see Pete Alonso, I think to myself, that dude hits a lot of home runs by virtue of just being a big ass dude who hits home runs.
Yes, but he has to be able to see the ball, and he has to be smart enough to do it, to call what's coming. And I don't know why. I don't know why I thought he would be really, really good for a year and then it wouldn't last. Maybe it is
given the number of home runs he hit and how far he hit them.
Yeah.
You see it with Stanton and Judge and the Yankees, right? Like there's a point at which we know you're going to hit really long balls, right?
Yeah.
But you can't stay healthy enough to come out and even hit those home runs. Then you're not really a threat.
Right.
If you can't hit a breaking ball, right, consistently, you're not actually a threat. I just won't throw you one.
Right.
I won't throw you a fastball. I will not give you high heat. I won't give you anything that looks like it's straight and flat. You will get none of that. Right? You're only going to get breaking crap.
Do you think that like if you were a baseball insider, you certainly think like one, so you're a good person to ask this. If you were a baseball insider, would you have seen DJ LeMahieu coming? Would you have seen that, or was that
Oh my God. Okay, so I wish I could have. So here's the trick with DJ LeMahieu. DJ LeMahieu as a Cubs prospect was dealt to I believe the Rockies first, because they knew they had Javier Baez coming up.
Oh.
Right? Knowing you got Javi coming.
Yeah.
DJ LeMahieu has no position here.
Right.
If you think like traditional baseball guys think,
Right.
the way I think DJ LeMahieu, if he's the prospect we thought he was,
Yep.
DJ LeMahieu might have to go into center field.
Yep.
If we need them both.
Yep.
But they never thought DJ LeMahieu was going to be what he is. Therefore, he's a movable asset to get you something else down the road. But if you would have known DJ LeMahieu was going to be this good, would you have kept him? And where would he have played?
Yeah.
This is the question that you asked me earlier about comparing baseball to chess. I was thinking about that all morning, right? And there's that thing where in my brain, if baseball and chess are allegorical in any way, corner infielders are like rooks. All outfielders effectively should be like bishops or knights, right? And your middle infielder are like knights, right? So like you have to think about interchangeability of parts, right? You can't make a third baseman a second baseman most times, but you should be able to make a shortstop a second baseman and vice versa. You should be able to do this.
Yes.
Depending on what hand they throw the ball with, right? Like a right-handed shortstop should be able to be a second baseman. A left-handed shortstop, I can see it be a little difficult, right? But like turning your body in that way.
That's
like,
a lot of turns.
A lot of turns. But damn it, if you've got a guy at second base that projects to be what DJ LeMahieu became,
yes,
just because Javi projects to be more valuable, you shouldn't necessarily dump DJ LeMahieu.
Right.
I think you keep him. You just have now decided that your center field has a second baseman playing in it.
Yeah.
Because the Cubs haven't had solid center field. Like I like Ian Happ a lot, but like I don't. Ian Happ's not a guy where I go, that's my center fielder forever.
He's not LeMahieu.
He's not LeMahieu. So I would have personally, as a general manager or manager of baseball, would have said, I'm going to keep both assets because if it turns out I have two Javi Baez's, that can't be the worst thing in the world.
It can't be, no.
You know, like a lot of times guys are getting moved because we have one guy and it's like, this got to be my guy, which means you're superfluous. You're in the way and I got to move you along because there's just no way you can coexist with the other guy. Well, what do you mean there's no way?
Right.
Every baseball team is constructed differently. Let's find out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't have a guy better than this dude defensively right now.
Right.
So what did you end up doing? You tried Albert Almora. He turns out you didn't tender him a contract. So he's gonna leave, right? So that's one more center fielder who ain't really panning out. Like basically Ian Happ took his job, but Ian Happ plays a center field kind of like a guy who's there to hit power. He's there to hit for power. He's not actually playing it like a center fielder. Like he doesn't strike me as a center field guy. He strikes me more like an infielder who hits for power, who can run a little bit, who ain't gonna hit 300, he ain't gonna hit 320. Like he's basically gonna be a high 200 hitter, and he's defensively. You're not gonna say it's a good thing Ian was there.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Defensively, you're like, I bet he could make this play.
Yeah, yeah.
I hope he can make this play. You know, like there's that, right? LeMahieu can hit high in the order.
Yeah.
He can defend.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of things this dude, it turns out he can do.
Really?
So he was the right prospect to have.
Yeah.
Right? He was clearly the right prospect to have, but I think he was let go when he probably didn't need to be let go.
Exactly.
Now, if the Cubs got something for him, let's look that up. I'm going to look up if the Cubs got something for DJ LeMahieu that turned out to be very critical. Like then it's a moot point, right? Then it's like, well, shit, they got a strong, they got, Kyle Hendricks for him, let's say,
Okay.
DJ LeMahieu.
Kyle Hendricks is the guy I kept thinking was a Rocky, but he wasn't.
I think was he an Athletic?
Or is he career Cub?
We got him from somewhere. We didn't
really?
he's not an originally a Cub prospect. We traded for him. Let's see. And since LeMahieu went to the Yankees.
Yeah, and we got something for him, I'm pretty sure. Or we let him go to free agency. Actually, I think we let LeMahieu go to free agency.
Yep. And that's how he got to the Yankees. Traded to the Yankees. Wikipedia is not saying who he was traded for, but Baseball Reference would.
All right, I put Hendricks up. Yeah, he's Chicago Cubs.
But I think we got it as a minor leaguer. I think we got
Oh,
him in a
okay.
trade. Yeah.
Okay, let's see where he came from.
There we go.
Drafted by the Angels
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought.
and the Rangers.
He had some stops.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. 2008 MLB amateur draft for the Angels, and then the 2011 amateur draft. He got on to Dartmouth, and the Rangers got him from there. So yeah, whatever that story is, Angels got him from high school, Rangers got him from Dartmouth.
That's amazing.
Yep. And otherwise, he has been a Cub.
LeMahieu was really drafted by the Tigers.
Okay.
In the 41st round.
Wow.
That's baseball. That's baseball.
Yeah, it sure is. Because you never know, do you?
41st round. It's like there's people working for baseball teams who are employed to just stay there. You just stay at this draft. Do not go home.
So yeah, so then the Cubs took him from Louisiana State University. So there you go.
Yeah, usually Baseball Reference says who a player was traded for, and I just don't see it. So maybe look that up next. Is this
I'm at Baseball
Oh,
Reference.
oh, you're there. Okay, yeah. I was looking at my phone.
I just do this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who was DJ LeMahieu traded for?
Who did the Cubs get for DJ LeMahieu, right?
Yeah.
Let's see if this brings it up. All right. 5 worst Cubs trades. All right. Outfielder Tyler Colvin for third baseman. Outfielder Tyler Colvin. Oh no, he was traded with. So you got Ian Stewart and Casey Weathers back for LeMahieu and Colvin.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think Ian Stewart ever saw the field.
Gave the Rockies a great second baseman.
Totally.
Did indeed have a great second baseman. So yeah, this isn't going to. Well, Ian Stewart sure was in a good place. Yeah. Just behind Delman Young, Felix Hernandez, and Joe Mauer. I mean,
right?
Good, but he struggled.
And it was one of those things where like when Ian Stewart, when he was here, it was like, are you going to build around Ian Stewart? You're not really going to build around Ian Stewart. And then it was like, okay, well, now. So that's when the whole Cubs rebuild began. And that was it. Guys got to start. We got to start moving these assets.
Yep.
You know, we need some different guys. We're going to suck for a couple of years. And then you're going to see.
Yeah. Yeah. And we got LeMahieu for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had that little stretch there where we had LeMahieu, Blackman, and Arenado. We felt pretty good about ourselves.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to the baseball similar to chess or comparable to chess line of inquiry, it sounds like it's really player for player, right? And you don't have a place on the field. For
sort of like the style in which your team is constructed, right? Like you corner infielders and outfielders seem to be of a sort. You know, they're only so fast, they're only so quick. They definitely need to offensively be contributing to a certain level. Your middle infielders and center fielder are absolutely going to be there. Defense is going to be, usually it's primary, but in modern baseball, like it used to be unheard of that like your second baseman was somebody who's going to hit 35 home runs. Now your second baseman is shortstop hitting 35 home runs is like, great. All right, look, we got that now. You know what I mean? Like lots of guys are coming up doing that thing. It used to be like, remember like Omar Vizquel and Felix Fermin and these kind of like defense first guys. We would have these conversations about they're defensive first guys, but they're not that good defensively even. How are they here, right? Then now it's like, well, now the defense first guys are actually spectacular offensively. You would take Javier Baez, or you would take Cleveland Indian shortstop dude, whose name is escaping me. Yeah, Francisco Lindor. You take these guys because they're defensively great, but they're also really good offensively. And there are a lot of players like this. Carlos Correa, really good defensively and really good offensively. And because now baseball is just played differently.
Why don't we just start calling all of them things like Cleveland Indians shortstop dude, or
because sometimes before I can think of their name, I can see them in their uniform.
Yeah.
And it's like, look at that guy.
Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher dude, or
really tall Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher dude.
Yeah, really tall. The super baggy clothes versus the silver pants. Yeah.
Pants barely fit.
Okay, you get it, guys. We're gonna forget your names. Everybody's name gets forgotten. Yep. Yeah. Okay, so I'm sorry, because this is a really good line of inquiry that you were developing here, and I interrupted with something frivolous.
That's right.
But I do. Go ahead.
Sometimes you find out that like one of your positions that's meant to be offensive, let's say you're a Cub and you've got Jason Hayward. Jason Hayward was brought here for this great offense he was supposed to be able to put up, and turned out, well, it doesn't have all that much offense. In 2020, offensively, he was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But the prior couple seasons, not so much. It's
right.
very disappointing.
Right.
But like Gold Glove defensively, but you didn't know you were getting a Gold Glove defensive guy. You knew you were getting a decent right fielder. You did not know you were going to get the best right fielder in the league.
Right.
Defensively, with no pop in his stick whatsoever. Like and I've seen Jason Hayward hit for power.
Right.
So I know the guy can do it.
Right.
You know, and it's not like they'd asked him to come here and just be a defensive guy. Don't worry about the offense. I know he's trying to hit bombs. I know he's trying to. So why can't he? Who the hell knows why he can't? But now you're stuck with his salary. So you can't sit him. Yeah. No one's going to take him. You can't trade him. So here you are now. He's a bishop, right? Like he's moving forward and backward. He ain't moving side to side. You know? Okay,
we need to look at him, but let me stick with the baseball chess thing just one more second. So when you say they need to be able to sort, you mean that they need to be able to what do you mean exactly by that?
Like when you have to like sort out what a guy kind of is on your team.
Yeah.
Like you want you have an idea of what the position requires.
Okay.
Right? But when you find yourself with a player that isn't doing that or has a different skill set, it means someone else got to make that slack up.
Okay.
Right? If Jason Hayward won't hit you 40 home runs, you got to get 40 home runs from somewhere.
Right.
Where's that going to be from? You won't worry about Jason Hayward's bat if your center fielder is hitting a whole bunch of home runs and your left fielder is hitting a whole bunch of home runs and your second baseman is hitting a whole bunch of home runs. But they're having to do it to make up for what the traditional position isn't doing. Yes. Yeah. Because that's what right field is supposed to do, is hit a lot. And in this town, we're used to it with like Sammy Sosa and Andre Dawson haven't been out there, right? Over the years. Like we're used to getting that kind of production out of that position. Right. Okay. You know? We're used to having a left field that is defensively more than adequate, right? Defensively, that left fielder is if it goes over there, it's getting caught. It's getting Moises Alou played there. Right? Yes, that's right. Like you're gonna get a bat, you're gonna get average, you're gonna get speed, you're gonna get a glove. And then you had to put Kyle Schwarber there because you just couldn't play him at catcher because Wilson Contreras was coming up. Schwarber came here as a catcher, right? So you didn't trade him then like you did LeMahieu, right? You moved him to left field. And that was an adventure because he's a refrigerator wearing a glove. You know? Yeah, so you want to put Schwarber as a DH, right? Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. Okay. Sure. So let's look at some, here's a YouTube video that is Jason Hayward batting highlights. Okay.
Hayward, right field, go! Line shot, rocket.
Now you gotta go back.
Can you see that?
Yeah, now I see it.
Oh,
you
yeah.
gotta
just watch him.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a great swing.
Good.
One more.
It's a 2-run homer for Hayward, and it's 5-0 Cubs.
Okay.
Deep center, Jones.
It's like a golf swing.
See, I have this new theory, and it's right or wrong because I am like not at this level. But I have this new theory that the best hitters are the ones that have they have this really nice, easy, smooth way of taking the okay, so the ball hits the bat, and that is some serious charge, right? Your body has to do something with that. It has to do something with that. And I believe the best hitters are the ones that know how to channel all of that energy, reactive energy, down through into their back foot and just like shove
Yes.
it into the ground.
Sure.
You know, that's how I see it. I've been watching Miguel Cabrera hit.
Yep.
Been watching highlights of Miguel Cabrera hit, and his swing is what they call quiet. And his body is quiet. And as far as I can see, you know, he has a very efficient and compact swing. But what
Yes.
really happens is that you can almost see the energy go from the bat down to his back foot and into the ground.
Right.
And so that's why his body is quiet, right?
There's not a lot of wacky movement happening there. Yeah.
Not a lot, but he gets that energy out of his body. You know, he's able to put it all into the swing, all into the hit, and it's just this blowback, and boom, it's down into the ground, right? It's just beautiful exchange of energy that he has. And a lot of these guys, I'm looking at them, and they're not doing that. They don't have a way to ground themselves on their back leg. And it's a theory I'm developing that the best hitters, and this is just going by the eyeball test, not trying to analyze the stats, that the best hitters, and probably the most, that's a separate thing, but maybe the longest, most enduring players, the most durable players can also do that because they aren't hurting their bodies. And looking at Hayward, he's doing something really good with twisting his hips and
Yes.
taking his torso, and it brings the swing around. But I don't see any of the resulting collision going
He
down
swings like a guy who just is really just hitting a long single.
Yeah.
Right? He's slapping the ball.
Yeah.
He's got a quick swing. He's slapping at the ball. It's a good swing, but that is not it. To me, it doesn't look like a swing designed to get the ball out of the park.
Yeah.
Looks like the ball went out of the park anyway.
Yeah, because he's so strong.
Yes.
Yeah. And they say that he just muscled it out of the park.
Yeah.
That's not his thing. And I don't know if you can get to Hayward's age and experience and like redo his swing. You know, Bellinger was really young when he did that last year, right? But I don't know if Hayward could do that and find it productive. But I just wonder if there wouldn't be a way for him to sort of have crown of the head down to the feet, and especially the back foot, you know, to let that whole system come into play, but to also absorb the shock, you know, so that you're not trying to get it away from yourself, but you're actually sort of saying, you're inviting it in. Come on, give me that force. I have a place to put it. I have the earth, you know. That's and you know who I, just as an extreme thing, I decided to compare Cabrera with Babe Ruth, who looked to me like it just looked so unhealthy what he was doing, you know, like how was he not crippled with back pain?
Yes.
The way that he would swing, and it had to just all be strength. Well, he wasn't facing pitching like we face these days,
right.
Like our guys face, but you know, so it's a little bit easier for him. But I mean, it's almost like he just takes the bat and just like swings himself around, right?
Yep.
And since I have some back pain these days, I'm just like, ow, it almost hurts to watch him. And I think it did even before I got hurt.
At some point, I think it absolutely will end up doing exactly that, right? A lot of these guys who are these coiled springs, when they uncoil to make that swing, there will be back pain down the road because it's a constant stress with great force.
Yeah.
And right now the muscle memory is just keeping it going. But like in the off season, I bet they stiffen up.
Yeah. Oh, they must. It must be just I wonder if I could similarly bring up Cabrera. Let me look real quick. Okay. See if there's Miguel Cabrera batting highlights, and we can just see a couple of him. Top 10 monster home runs of Miguel Cabrera. So I'll share the screen first, and then I'll run it. All right, share screen. Choose. Share. I'm learning these buttons. All right, here we go. I think you only have to see a couple of them. After an ad, no doubt.
Welcome to the future of home energy with the unprecedented performance of 5G ultra wideband and none of the baggage of
Verizon user over here. Thank you. Oh, okay. any three. We'll just watch three.
Yep.
Back foot.
Not a golf swing.
Yep. Look how far that went. Oh my goodness, that was not a mistake. That wasn't muscling it out, right?
Yep. That one had a flight number.
They want to show the entire run around the park. And all the yay. And they're beating Texas. Yay. Show us another one. One more, because this is taking time. But still, Cabrera man. Number 9. Back foot.
Mickey drives one deep in the air to left, down the line, and
I mean, it just really makes you say, wow. And I don't expect to hold Jason Hayward to the same standard as Miguel Cabrera. I don't expect to hold anybody to quite
But
that.
it's a technique. You know what I mean? It's a batting technique.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it is. You can use whatever technique works for you, but the results are, if you have the proper mechanics for this, like it's a better situation for you overall.
Yeah.
You know, and how do you tell a guy who's making like X amount of millions of dollars a year, he needs to change his mechanics? He's probably saying, I don't really have to do that. Like, I would like to, but like, I'm just gonna go play baseball. Thank you very much. I'm playing every day.
Thank you very, very much.
You know?
Okay, so can a given player in a given situation be a different kind of chess piece? So
I think yes.
Yes. Okay.
I think, and you've seen it in like there's third basemen who are just quicker than you expect, right? Like there's absolutely room for that. Like you find that there's players all over the field who their skill set is just different than other people's skill sets.
Yeah.
You know, like I like to think of like the pitcher is like the queen, the catcher is the king, right? But then there's players like Mike Trout who do everything.
Yeah, that's
Mookie
true.
Betts does everything.
He's the queen.
Right? Mookie Betts might be more important than your starting pitcher on a given.
Mookie Betts is the queen. Mookie Betts is the queen of the Dodgers, right?
You know what I mean? Like there's some times in which that field is set up a certain kind of way, and it's set up for the best way for that team to win with how it's made up. That's how it's constituted. You know?
Yeah.
It might happen that your stolen base leader is one of your corner outfielders or infielders. You know, your stolen base leader is somebody that you didn't expect it to be, but they are playing every day, doing that job.
Yeah.
You know, who's your where's your leadoff guy? Is your leadoff guy like it used to be your leadoff guy was your second baseman, your shortstop, or your center fielder. Now your leadoff guy, some days Anthony Rizzo on the Cubs. Right? This is why I think that you're gonna end up with George Springer. In my brain, it's going to be because George Springer can play center field, he can lead off, and then Ian Happ can move over to left field, right?
Okay.
Then you have an actual leadoff man now on your team who is going to do center fielder things, leadoff man things, and then some, right? You've upgraded that position significantly, right? It's an attack piece, it's not just a defending piece, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So what are the rumors? What do the rumors say about George Springer? Do you feel like that?
I haven't seen any. I have not seen any like that. But just I heard someone say this the other day, and it just sounded so right to my ear. Like it makes sense, but it's like because Springer is the top name free agent out there, the question just becomes who wants to offer him top player free agent money after 2020. I think that's going to be the thing.
Yep.
I think it looks like it might be like it was when Dallas Keuchel hit the market. When Craig Kimbrell hit the market, like those players had to sit for a long time before somebody came calling because all the owners want to make it so that they aren't shoveling out money the first chance they get.
Yeah.
You know, like as if they can bring the market back, like if they can correct the market, you know,
right. And
I'm not sure that you can, you know, because while you're waiting to see if you can correct the market, somebody else is going to be like, I just can't wait any longer.
Yeah.
Take my money.
It's a game of chicken, right?
Yeah.
Well, I keep seeing articles. Apparently, George Springer makes sense everywhere in baseball, including the Astros. I mean, every beat writer, every national writer, everybody's making a case for George Springer will be a great fit with fill in the blank.
Yep.
So he's clearly our number one free agent. Clearly our number one free agent.
He fits everywhere.
Yeah, and I don't think our Twins are going to get him, even though that was one of our major fixes for the Twins was George Springer. But I also think that what the Twins really need is some pitching. I think that's the main thing that the Twins need.
Sure.
Probably you could say that about every team, but some teams are a better set than others. You know, the Dodgers probably don't really need anything. The Padres need pitching. That's all that they need, right? And I mean, you can just sort of go down the line, including the Yankees. That's what they need is pitching. Everybody needs pitching. And there are a lot, I didn't do the numbers like I promised, but there are a lot of free agent pitchers right now. A lot.
And I think the price is going to come down.
Yeah, it's going to have to come
because
down.
There's so many of them.
Yeah, which lets guys like our Twins, you know, maybe get somebody good. What happened with the Pirates? Something really, they signed Ben Cherington. Ben Cherington's working for the Pirates now.
Okay. All right.
So that's I mean, that made me really happy because, you know, I really like the Pirates. And so maybe Ben Cherington can bring them into a new season of winning, you know, not
Yes.
immediately, obviously, but pretty soon.
Sure.
Question mark about Josh Bell and where should he go?
Right. And I think Josh Bell's going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't see Josh Bell staying,
Yep.
you know, but
Yeah.
like Josh Bell plays more than one position
Right.
and is a good hitter,
Right.
solid player.
Right.
You know, Josh Bell's going to go to a contender.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like if Josh Bell went to like the Rays, or because you know everybody playing on the Rays and the Marlins were a bunch of unknowns. Take one more step, but Josh Bell walking in there is like, this dude's a stud.
Yeah.
Right. Like that changes the whole mood. Right. So there's teams that I feel like, man, if those guys get Josh Bell is definitely a one more good piece.
Does the Atlanta team need anything, or can they just go for it as is?
I think they don't. It's hard to say. Like, they're just that damn good.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes you need the experience of getting beat.
Yeah.
Like in a way that you didn't expect, to come back the next year and just be like, fuck this, we're not losing now. You know,
right?
Like, they're that good.
Okay.
You know,
that's what I was thinking too. That's the team. Dodgers and Dodgers and Atlanta don't need anybody.
Right.
Everybody else needs people.
Yep.
The Giants need to replace what they have.
Yep.
Like, you need to come into opening day at Giants and not know anybody on the field from the previous year.
Yep.
Or the previous two.
Yeah, easily. Very possible.
Yeah, the Rockies are the Rockies. They're gonna do what they do. The Diamondbacks. Oh my goodness, you know, I don't know what they're gonna do. Thinking about this, you know, I keep even forgetting that Arizona has a team, or that the Diamondbacks exist. That's not good. You know, that's not good for a major fan to think that a team doesn't exist. But these are all places where I don't want a treasure like Josh Bell to go, right? So
yeah, and I think the Diamondbacks are in a situation similar to the Twins, where it's like they're going to end up having to really luck out on good players.
Yeah.
Because those good players didn't get to go someplace else because the market just didn't work out for them.
Yep.
No one right now is looking to go to Arizona.
Right.
You know.
Right. So
they might be looking to go to the Twins. They ain't looking to go to Arizona.
One other team, because I know this stuff isn't going to really break open yet, so we just have to guess, banter about teams and guess. But what about the Phillies?
The Phillies just got new leadership.
Uh-huh.
So they look intriguing now, right? Like, now it's like, oh shit, well, the Phillies got guys who've gotten it done before.
Uh-huh.
You know, they just changed their entire like front office. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Maybe this could be intriguing.
Yeah.
You know? And I know that guys like Bryce Harper are like, yes, let's do some things here.
Uh-huh.
You know? Hot damn, this could be great.
What about Josh Bell to the, is it impossible?
Yeah, I don't think it's impossible. I think that really helps the Phillies.
Yeah, it really does.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think
over the hump here.
That's a good fit thing. And
that changes everything for the Phillies.
Yeah, it does. That was kind of my little fantasy for Josh Bell. You know, I don't really root for the Phillies too much, but I would like to see Josh Bell go someplace happy, and that's because he was one of the players that kept making me feel maternal last year, because he looked so lost, and I was like, oh, you know,
Josh Bell.
He shouldn't be lost. Kiddo, what can we do for you? Yeah. So I don't want him to look lost.
The Pirates look lost.
Yeah, they do. They really do. Yeah, they really need. And I'm pretty sure it was Ben Cherington. The Rangers got Chris Young.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty brilliant.
Sure.
He's cerebral.
Yep.
I don't know how well cerebral managers, GM, right? They signed him for the GM.
Yeah, he's a GM.
I think cerebral GMs can do good stuff.
Yeah.
They don't have to be scrappy, you know. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So Rangers, we'll see. They got a long way to go.
To me, I feel like the Rangers are like the other Diamondbacks.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
They're the Texas Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
You know, that's what they are.
I like that.
Texas Diamondbacks.
Okay, so here's what I want to tee up for next time. I want to tee up a really good conversation about baseball aesthetics, because we hear that that code word coming out of the Major League Baseball's front office right now, and I would like to dodge around it and talk about real aesthetics.
Okay.
So let's do that next time.
All right. Awesome.
As well as debriefing any news that we might
Yep.
have. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, wow. All right. So people, you heard a lot of good stuff today, and thanks for hanging in there with us, Legion of Fan.
Absolutely.
Pick up some, go and find a friend. Okay. And
Stay inside, but find a friend.
yeah, stay inside, find a friend. Yeah, this is a good thing to do, staying inside. And you know, there's not a lot to foreshadow because we don't know if anything's going to happen this week, but
Right.
we do know that it's not going to be a bad week because Christmas is coming and good things can happen with that. And until next Sunday, on behalf of my friend and fellow podcaster Terry Gant, partner in love, turn into the love.
Thank you.
Thank
Later, Beth.
you. Okay, bye.